Good morning. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. Please share my channel. Please comment whether you agree with me or not. I love having you here. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for participating, and let's just get started. This morning I wanted to talk about something. I know I've been talking about the things that have been going on in the world, things that have been going on in our country, put a little bit of politics in there. But, I want to go back to kind of the basics. When I started this channel, it was because I wanted to know basically the science of God. What is God made of? Who is God? What is the Spirit? Who am I? What are we made of? What are thoughts? Where do they come from? I was asking all those questions, and it led me. If I'm going to ask those questions, really, it led me into kind of a quantum science sort of down that path, and I discovered that science and Jesus don't contradict each other. Science basically proves everything Jesus said. And, although this is not a religious YouTube channel, it is a spiritual YouTube channel in the sense that I do believe that everything that Jesus came to show us, to teach us, to demonstrate, everything he did pointed us to the answers to those questions. We don't have the answers here on earth. I don't know if we ever will. We can, experiment, we can come up with theories, we can discover things, but will we ever have the answer? I mean, there's CERN is trying to, smash particles, and atoms are trying to, particles, I think they're smashing together and trying to get down smaller into quantum science to find out what particle and wave and how, we're all made and that kind of thing. They're trying to find the God particle, to find out, what is that field or that wave of what they believe to be the Spirit. And, oh my goodness, every time I put my turn signal on, people speed up. Sorry. Okay. But, I don't think that no matter how much we dig into asking the question, who is God? What is he made of? I don't know if we're ever going to come up with that answer, but I do know that they're working very hard on AI, artificial intelligence. They want to create basically an artificial consciousness, and I don't know quite how I feel about that. But I do know that if they're going to create an artificial intelligence, it's one thing. Intelligence is one thing. That's information. That's data. We program that in. We have our coders putting in code and telling the computers what to do, basically. And that's automated, information. It's just kind of like every time you do a Google search and you ask a question, AI, artificial intelligence, would already have all those answers. It's like having all of the answers that Google has in one computer that can think, basically appear to be thinking based on gathering all that information. But we have to put the information into it for it to do that successfully. There's artificial intelligence, and then there's artificial consciousness. And for as much as I've heard about intelligence, I haven't yet heard that there's going to be an artificial consciousness. So, but if they're going to make computers that are intelligent, that have all the information, and try to make them autonomous, make them completely, working on their own. There was I can't remember who it was that had a video. They were talking about how dangerous it would be if they do not try to interject some human traits, some human qualities, and the good ones, keep out the bad ones. We don't want our computers to end up being selfish. We don't want them to be self-serving. We don't want them to be greedy. We don't want them to be hateful. So we want them to, if they're going to operate the way we need them to operate, we would have to make sure that they are, some form of kindness, some form of generosity, some form of compassion, empathy. And I don't know if it's possible to imitate empathy. When it comes to the world of computers and AI and what they're developing and creating, they can make machines that mimic humans. But what they can't do at this point is put the Holy Spirit and all of his qualities into a computer. That would be, first of all, I think, really, really dangerous to even try at this point. We're not there yet. I don't know if we ever will be. But second of all, who would want it? Because the human experience, I mean, we can build robots, but the human experience, we see things through the Holy Spirit. We see things through our eyes and God's eyes. The thoughts that we have that we're creating, our experience are from God. He's the creator and the creation. So if God is the creator and the creation, and then his creation is trying to create, did you get all that? So, yeah, I'm not sure how exactly that would work. And there's that same Tesla. That is not my boss. My boss drives a Tesla truck. And I see this one. It's the same color as his. I see this every now and then, but it's a different person driving it. They're always pulled over right about when I am going to work. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in my mirror. I'm not going to touch my mirror. So it's going ahead of me now. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, so I was thinking about, all this talk about AI, trying to mimic and create and recreate a humanoid. They call it a humanoid. They do have the Neuralink, and Neuralink is actually linked to the brain, to where there was a guy who was, I believe he was a quadriplegic, and he had a Neuralink implanted, and he was able to, they had a computer in front of him, and all he had to do was think of what he wanted, and it appeared on the computer. So instead of having to move a mouse or touch any buttons to get what he wanted on the computer, all he had to do was think, I want to see this, and then that would show up. It's kind of like with Siri, I mean, we have Siri and Alexa, and we just say, we speak into it and say, hey, can you tell me this, or can you show me that? Well, this is the same concept, only with the visuals included. Now, getting an implant in your brain, for somebody who's a quadriplegic to be able to use a computer, just by thought and by speaking, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. He didn't speak it. He didn't say, I want this. That would be like Alexa. He just thought, instead of having to say it verbally. So it's kind of like an Alexa with the mind being what controls it, not the voice. So I was comparing it to Alexa, but no, he's not speaking. Anyway, all he had to do was think. He didn't even say anything. He would just think, I want to see, dolphins jumping out of the ocean, and then that would appear. I want to get on Word for Windows, and that would appear. I want to type out, an essay. And so he wasn't speaking these things. He was just thinking them with his mind. And I don't really know if anybody knows how if anybody here is a computer scientist or knows. I could ask my son, I guess, whenever I see him, but what needs to take place? What would need to take place to have that last bit of the Holy Spirit of Jesus put into a robot? What would need to take place to give a robot empathy and compassion, or to give AI empathy and compassion? I believe they would have to first know what it is that God is made of. I don't know how you can put something into a robot if you don't know what it is, if you don't know what it consists of. So that's one thing. I don't know. It's hard to wrap my head around all this, but I do know that we are moving really fast into the realm of having to deal with computers, robots, humanoids, AI, chips in the brain. Right now, they're putting chips in the brain to help people medically. I think that, like if somebody can't walk, they might offer, a medical chip in the brain to connect their neurons to their brain and have their brain tell their legs to walk, which is, I had something similar happen with a neurological issue. I wasn't able to walk, and my neurologist told me, just tell your brain you can walk. Just keep telling your brain, no, I can walk. And really try to meditate, and she didn't say meditate, but focus on your legs moving, and the brain connecting with your nerves is what's going to, create in your muscles, and it's all going to come through what you are telling your brain. So that was amazing, because I did what she said. And then I've been walking ever since. I can swim, I can walk. I literally told my brain, connect to the legs and let's go. And it wasn't just a verbal, I'm telling you what to do. It was an entire thought process with my thoughts, and knowing completely and believing completely that, I could walk. That is how I went from not being able to walk to being able to walk. And I believe that when Jesus performed miracles, when he said to somebody, get up and walk, I think they believed him so much. They believed that everything he said was true, and it was their belief. He was teaching people the concept of all you have to do is think it, believe it, know it's true. Just know it's true, and you can do it. You are the one who controls your body. Your body doesn't control you. You control your body. And Jesus taught that. So if he taught that to us as human beings, and we were created by God, and now we're trying to create humanoids, are they a generic version of what God created, or are they still going to be part of God's creation because they were created through us and through our thought process? And is it God that's coming through us to help us to create these humanoids? Or is it just man and his ego trying to duplicate himself? Those are all questions. And, I'm sorry, I'm going to end this with questions. I don't have the answers. I don't know. And if you have any idea, any thoughts, any Bible verses, anything that you can share that, describes all these computer robot things that we're doing right now, are they created by God, or are they just created by us and our own ego? I'd like to know. I'd like to hear from you. So that's all I've got for this morning. I'm heading into the office, but I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.